I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Kayla Kroot, Creative Director and Co-founder of Koii Network. Kayla, welcome to the show and thank you for taking the time.
Ashton, thanks for having me on. I'm really happy to be here.
You're very welcome. A lot to cover in a short amount of time, so let's dive straight into it. Kayla, can we please just start off with a refresher for me and for the audience, a high-level overview of Koii Network, the solutions that you're bringing into the world, and then we can dive into the details.
Yeah, of course. So we think of ourselves, Koii Network is reshaping information the way that Bitcoin reshaped finance. And really what that means is that there's a huge problem in the world with access to information. We're seeing that now in conflict zones. We're seeing that, with government controlled media, stuff like that, where people don't have access to the truth. They don't have access to honest information, and they don't have a way to put the things that they want into the world. So what Koii is doing is we are building tools for anybody to get really involved into Web3, whether you're a developer and you want to build a completely decentralized app that doesn't rely on any centralized services like AWS, or if you're a creator and you want to make NFTs or you want to make music and you want to own that content and be rewarded for it instead of rewarding the platforms that you're working with. We are here to make Web3 the future for everybody, like globally, everywhere, and all the infrastructure that comes along with that.
Amazing, great intro, and I really like the sounds of that. You're right, there's a pervasive problem right now. It seems to be ever growing, and I believe as well technology is the answer. I'd love to know how long you've been working on this and where your team is at right now.
So I have been working on this since about August of 2020. So it's been almost a year and a half now. But my co-founder, Al Morris, has been thinking about these ideas of how do we give global access to information? How do we reward creators? How do we do that? He's been really thinking about that, 5 years before we even started this. So it's been a long time coming, and finally sort of the groundwork for us to really build what we are trying to build has been laid. And so we just released actually our own settlement layer, which will help us increase transaction speed and payment processing and all of that. And with that, we are building what we call a task node, which is our network of nodes that you could run one on your laptop. I'm going to run one on my laptop. I'll run one on my phone. So we really have a global network that will enable us to do things like decentralized hosting, where really it's coming from all the computers across the web. That allows you to do a lot of different things like web scraping and other microservices. And then on the other end, we did build a wallet. It's called Finny. I love Finny, sort of my pride and joy. But Finny enables creators, we have a drag and drop, NFT creation tool. And I'm just going to tease a thing that we have coming out soon. There's a mobile app that we're creating that allows you to create decentralized media, almost like Snapchat, right from your phone. Upload it, super easy. So basically what I'm trying to say is we've been building heads down a lot in the last year or so. And we're excited to show the world what we have.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting. And I do like that on the creator aspect, just making it easier for them to interact with Web3, to create NFTs or content where they can directly connect to their fans, and just make it easier for those connections to be made. And you also mentioned earlier about just the whole protocol overall. I'm guessing it gets technical and there's a lot of different aspects to it, but to make it adopted by the mainstream, you really need to lower those barriers to entry, make it as usable as possible, as you have done with the creators. On the development side, and just as the protocol as a whole, how have you approached that usability and getting people that aren't technical involved on the front end?
So there's a couple of different aspects here. One is that we have built a template library, a UI template library that is written entirely in JavaScript. So if you know any JavaScript, you can deploy an app in 10 minutes or less. We even had our head of partnerships. He tried to make a crowdfunding portal, which is one of the templates that we have. He had never written a line of code before in his life, and he did it in 25 minutes. up and running. Like, and his wasn't like tuned to any brand or anything. So like, if you want to like make it really like yours for your company, it takes a little bit longer than that. But as someone who's never written code, you know, we've seen a lot in the no code or the low code applications recently. And really that's the future, that like anyone can build an app. If they have an idea, you shouldn't have to know Solidity or Rust or any of the other languages to be able to help people put your good out into the world and all of that. And on the other side of it, so you mentioned the protocol. Our protocol works by tracking attention. So it's called proofs of real traffic. And then this helps people get rewarded for the content that they're putting out. So whether that's an NFT if you're a creator, or if you're a developer and you've made an app and your users are coming and they're using it every day or 5 times a day or whatever it is, you get paid in our token. It's called Koii, the Koii token. And you can use those rewards to then pay your hosting services through our task nodes. So basically, we're lowering that barrier to entry, by making it more affordable, making it easier to pay for your services, and making it so that like really anyone can get involved, and you don't have to like put in a lot of money at the outset in order to like reap the rewards, which is just like the rich get richer scheme.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And thanks for mentioning that. I was curious to ask about the Koii network token. If maybe we can just get an overall picture from a high level. Is it similar to like a governance token in a protocol, and it has other functionalities, whether it's to do with the NFTs or DeFi? You mentioned there staking and paying for the services. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about with regards to that?
Yeah, so the token is really an incentive mechanism for the network. So there's a daily mint, and the only way to quote unquote mine, I hate the term mining for what we're doing, but that's what everybody knows. So the only way to mine the Koii token is by putting content out into the world that people are engaging with and looking at, using. So that could be an NFT, like I said before, or it could be a decentralized application. And then everyone who earns those tokens, you can then pay the network to do any of those microservices. So all of the task nodes, you write, a small JavaScript code, snippet, and ask them to do something for you, and that incentivizes people to be running nodes because they're earning a percentage of what we're calling bounties to accomplish the things that you've asked them to do.
Interesting. And I feel like there's a high weighting on the decentralized nature of Koii, or like running your own node. I know a lot of people that are most people that are trading cryptocurrencies or using DeFi and NFTs in Ethereum and these other protocols. They're not really focused on running their own node. Is that one of the more important aspects for your team at Koii?
So we already have about 38,000 people on our wait list on our pre-registration list for when the node comes out to run that. There's no reason really not to run a node with Koii. It's such a small program that it takes up about the same space and RAM as a music playing app. So if you can run Spotify on your computer, like you can run our node. And then that is just like another sort of income stream for you. And it'll run tasks that like you can subscribe to the list that like we've vetted and we've approved. So we know that they're like not malicious. You can run basically, we're going to make it very easy for you to run a node. And then if you want to run like a heavier node, if you already have that infrastructure for, an Ethereum node or some other node, you can run them sort of in parallel. And still get that like a higher percentage of the rewards because you're accomplishing more of the tasks.
Very cool. And that's a very impressive wait list. That's great to hear about the traction already pre-launch. And you did hint at a mobile app, in the future. And I'm curious, what else is in the roadmap, in terms of the tentative schedules, because nothing is ever for sure in blockchain, but for this launch and the mine and other updates, what's the schedule look like coming out in the future?
Yeah, so we are hoping to launch this mobile app that I'm not going to say too much about fairly soon. Again, I'm not going to put an exact date on that. And then after that is going to be this desktop node. So if you aren't a creator or you don't want to be putting your own stuff out into the world, you can run our node and earn tokens that way. We will be having a public sale. I'm not on the ops side necessarily. I'm more product and design. So I'm not going to claim to know all the details on exactly when that's going to happen, but should be this year for sure. And then, we're building out from there. One of the things that's really important for us is other projects creating in the ecosystem. So we're doing a lot of partnership work. We are building up other apps who are using our task nodes and our other infrastructure to run their applications and build their applications. So we are going to be building an ecosystem fund down the line as well, and really helping and partnering with those projects to make it a place where everybody really wants to be. Because if we can lay the groundwork, make it super easy for people, to build the next set of apps on Koii as opposed to in a centralized way, that's really how global adoption is going to happen. You're going to have people who don't believe in Web3 or don't know about it or are just scared because it's like, oh, that's something that, people with bad intentions do. You got to get the way that we get them in is that they're using an app that's built in Web3, that's built on Koii. And then, 6 months later, they love this app, they use it every day. And then they find out, oh, that's decentralized, that's blockchain, that's, Web3, this thing that I was always scared of. Well, maybe it's not so bad. It's actually pretty good. And the UX is good. And as long as everything is as good or even better than what they're used to, that's how we get everybody involved.
Definitely, Kayla, and I completely agree. I always say the day that blockchain reaches mainstream will be the day that everyone doesn't know they're using it because it will just be in the back end. So very cool. Looking forward to these updates. For the viewers that are looking to learn more about that wait list and about the drop and everything moving forward, what is the best way for them to stay connected and get into the communities?
So you can head over to our website. That's koii.network. That's Koii with 2 I's. And we have some signups there for the pre-registration to run a node. Also follow us on Twitter. It's at Koii Network. And then in our Twitter bio link, there's a bunch of links. That's actually a fully decentralized application that we built that you can create your own decentralized identity straight from the Finny wallet that I mentioned earlier. But within that, it's almost like a link tree, but it also has your NFTs, and it's like a decentralized profile page almost with wallet addresses that you can, if you want to send us tokens, don't send us tokens, but you could do that. And so our Discord is on there, our Telegram group is on there. I think our jobs page is on there as well. We're definitely hiring. So if you need a job, let us know. We hire all over the world. And then also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Kayla Kroot, my first and last name. And I have my own decentralized ID on there as well, with some ways to connect with me, some ways to get involved in Koii too.
Very cool, Kayla. All exciting things, and I will leave those links in the description box below as well. Looking forward to these updates coming for Koii Network. Let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ashton. It was great to be here.